this is. Hello, I'm trying to make sure we're doing this right here. Alright. Didn't know if it was still live because it's telling me to turn my phone back to the other orientation. And that's not how I want it. I want it like this so you can see what I'm doing. What we got out there? Hey, Bazzy, Dad, how are y'all doing? Thank you for coming and tuning in. I'm gonna start getting where I can set this up and put a notification and stuff that I'm going live. I'm still kind of doing this spur of the moment. I didn't see anybody else out there doing a live, so I wanted to jump in and try to do one for about an hour. Let's see. Try to zoom that in some. This is the last color like that. I made two. This is the one I did the other day, but made two like that. All right, trying to get the camera set up, y'all. It'll stop bouncing here directly. Alright, now I'm going to try to put my phone somewhere over here where I can see the comments better. Hey, Suzanne. This is the last color like that. I got the next set are pretty cool. I'll give y'all a sneak peek. That's the next set. I got two made like this right here. Then I got to pour some more. I've been getting lazy on pouring them. Hey, EW, are you in here? I see. Hey, EW. Oh, guess what? Dude, check this out. Oh, there's Spike. There you go. I was fixing to say Spike got his chair, y'all. That's just awesome. Yes, sir. I'm excited. That's just so cool. But yep. That's just awesome. But yep. That's some of the reason I was wanting to do the live too. I was wanting to say something about it. I hope this one don't bend. It might. Let's see. It should be okay. Let's see. I gotta get my mask out. Let's see. Change my glasses. Alright. Here we get back over here. Perry's gonna help me set up that OBS software. I'll be able to try to start streaming off my computer, and then I'll just be able to switch between camera to camera instead of having to move everything around. I hope. I got to figure out how to zoom in on that as well. That's one thing, is once I get it mounted up and I'm using it as a camera, I can't zoom in off my phone to zoom in through that software, so I have to learn it and figure it all out. But yeah, I like Perry's got his dialed up pretty good. The way he got his cameras in and the music going in the background while he's doing his work. That's what I want to do. Once I get a good noise cancellation going on, that'll be perfect. Let's see, make sure I got everything here before I start. My sandpaper's in the box. Let's see. Yes, sir. I bet I would be on the moon too. Like I said, I hope that 6 weeks flies by. I hope it's here before you know it. That's gonna be like a little kid waiting for Christmas. Man, I'm so happy that it finally came through for you. Alright, y'all, I'm gonna turn the noisemakers on. I'm gonna try to spin this one down. I got an air bubble in it right here. Like I was saying the other day with my pieces. Where's it at? Bear with me, trying to find the damn. Where did I put them? Hell, I got them all over the place. There it is. Right here. Boop, boop. There we go. That's the insert that I put inside my sticks right now. It's just a small dowel, but I need to seal it with some UV epoxy and then put it in my mold and try to do it that way. But right now it's still open. So when I put these in a pressure pot to get all the bubbles out, that pressure pot, it just, it smashes them air bubbles down, right? Well, they ain't got nowhere to go, but they run up into that wood. And then once that cures, if I take it out of the pressure pot too fast, I can watch it bubble right here where all the air, because the end gets covered with epoxy once it goes in the pot, but all the bubbles will gas back out through the epoxy if it's not 100% cured, and gives me my air bubbles still. So yeah, that's why we got to get the vacuum chamber. I get the vacuum chamber, then I can start stabilizing my wood, and then I can stain it and all that stuff too. But yeah, that's some of the goals. And then also got awesome news is one of my I do medical marijuana here in Florida. One of the local dispensaries just opened up a new location close to me, and when I go to get my meds, I'll wear a lanyard with a round puck with a bunch of my clips attached to it when I walk in. That's how I try to sell my clips and stuff. And they first time I went in there, they invited me to go to set up a table and a tent at the 13th of every month. They do a what do they call it? It's just one of their events they do where they get local vendors to come in and set up, and then patients come through. It's just something to support the patients and then the local vendors in the area. And they invited me to set up a table, and so it's like, wow, I'm nervous because like I said, I got some crazy anxiety, and but I'm gonna try. And I went and talked to them today, and I'm gonna try to do on their 13th, and then they got a grand opening. And I'm going to try to set up and do their grand opening as well. And then they do this event like this every month on the 13th, I do believe. And so, yeah, this might be something that might help me out. And then, what was it? They're supposed to get up with me with their social media people and all that, and try to get my YouTube channel on their all their social media to kind of boost up the vendors that are showing up and everything like that. So there, Grumpy's gonna get a little bit of publicity too. Gonna be crazy. Like I said, I don't know if I'm ready for it, but it's like, if I sit back, opportunity's gonna pass. So I gotta try. That's a bad bubble right there. We'll have to see how that works out. But enough babble. I hope everybody's having an awesome day. I keep forgetting to look at the camera over here. This says, don't be nervous, go get that money. I hear you. That's my bad thing. It's behind the camera, behind the keyboard. Hell, even behind the keyboard, I get overwhelmed and withdraw from chat sometimes on some of these lives. There'll just be so many people out there. It's just always how I've been, but that's what I'm doing my YouTube for, is to try to break me out of my nervousness. Heck, I'm nervous right now. But that's just how it goes. But yeah, it's looking up, because I've always made the roach clips, and hell, I'm busted and broke. I can't do nothing no more. It's if I'm on my feet too long, I go to hurting. If I'm sitting down too long, I go to hurting. I'm batshit crazy, so I can't hardly deal with people, so it's like I really can't do much. But my roach clips, I love doing my roach clips. And so yeah, if I can get this going somewhere, that's going to be awesome. Because yeah, I got Robert Peters. He's helped me out. He's got his pipes in a shop over in California, and he got up with me and convinced me to send some of my stuff over there. So I have about 20 of my roach clips in a shop in California. So I'm hoping. I haven't had any sales yet, but all I can do is wait. But yeah, we're doing it slowly. Grumpy's gonna get big, y'all. I hope. What's that? Fingers crossed. There we go. Alright, I got my I can see glasses on. I'm fixing to turn the noisemakers on and get with it. Thank you for everybody that's here. Please hit that like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Ooh, wait. Well, too late now. Camera's in the mount. I forgot to change the settings there. Oh well, it'll work. But here we go. Got the dust mask going on. think this one might try to bend if I get too much pressure on it, so I'm going to go ahead and true the end up and get it a little bit smaller. That way if it does try to bend, I'll be able to cheat it. Right now, this jaw won't open up big enough to hold that blank right here in the dead center, and then it's too small to hold it right there. But if I true that up a little bit smaller, I'll be able to cheat and hold it right there in the center in case it tries to bend. But the more pressure I put on it to keep it from stalling, the more likely it's going to try to bend in the center. Hey, old pal, thank you for coming by. I know how it goes. Get out there in the shop and get with it while you can. But don't overdo it. A little bit more. Turn that off for a minute. I think with this air bubble and stuff in here, I think it's going to be a little weak, and keep putting more pressure. I'm being a little heavier today, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in that chuck so I don't bend it. That way I don't waste the blank. Got to get some sticks made. But bear with me just a minute. Shouldn't take but a second. Yeah, I can see that's as big as it'll go on the inside, and it's not made to do this. You open it up right there and you put a little worm screw in there to hold so you can screw bigger blanks down onto it. But yeah, see, it'll just fit in there like that, so I can get it kind of centered and then tighten it up and then support it with the tailstock. That way I'm holding it right here with all the force, and it's I'm not having to push in from end to end to get the support I need. I hope that made sense. I confused myself half the damn time. Alright. I was gonna say, where'd the blank go? I'm gonna hide. Alright, and I won't tighten it down completely right here yet. I'll just start it. I'll get it kind of lined up with the center holes that we were starting with. I'll get the tailstock kind of locked in to give it some support, and then I'll loosen it and then let it get centered that way, and then tighten it back up. That way I'm not too wobbly, I hope. Alright. Oh, Suzanne, have a good day. Thank you for stopping by. Hey, Maddie, thank you for coming by. Oh, yeah. Right here, I got a video coming out. I haven't put it out yet because it was a few weeks back. But I was sanding, and I was coming right through here, and what? That chuck caught my finger and busted my fingernail up. I had to take my, it busted it way back. I had to take my UV epoxy. I put UV epoxy on there and to push the fingernail because I didn't want to rip the rest of the nail off because it was going to be raw underneath it. So I put some UV epoxy on there and held it down for a little while. But I think it's, I haven't edited, I just haven't uploaded it yet. So it'll probably be next Wednesday's video that's got that in there. It hurts. I've done it a couple of times. But I say live and learn, but like I said, I've done it a few times and I still do it. But I'm mindful of it. I just get in the zone sometimes because I'm paying attention to the colors, and it's like, oh, that's just a bop. Yeah, they got me. Let's see, turn this down, way down. We got our support. Yeah, see, that's not quite straight in there. I can tell. Way out of round down there. It wasn't. I didn't get my center marks in my blank too good either before I done it today. I was in a hurry marking center, so that didn't help me none. Against it, that should be better. I don't like that because that's going to be a mess when I try to polish it. I got a set of chucks, or there's a set of jaws that I can add to this chuck that I got to get that it'll make it to where it'll hold this size blank. It's made for the square blanks, but it'll still line up on a round blank. That's better. Let's see how that goes. Now I just have to watch that chuck. Alright, masking back up. Super glue or UV epoxy. make sure I get a good bite. I don't want that thing coming off and hitting me. I should be I should be able to get a little more aggressive with it too. Now that it's locked up right here, it's not going to stall out on me as much. But I have to be careful. I don't want to stress the motor out too bad. But all right, here we go. There goes my all right. There we go. Hey David, thanks for coming by. I'm trying to get aggressive with it and go ahead and knock all that bubble out so I can see how far down I have to take it. But like how it's swirled up in there, it's going to look good when I get it polished. But yeah, I got to be careful coming back. Y'all see, I'm used to letting my hand be way up here, and I get close to right there. So that's why I call that joker the knuckle buster, because I've hit my hand right there and I've hit my thumb right there. So yeah, just got to be careful. But yeah, with it in the chuck, you can tell I can get more aggressive with it than what I can with it just in the centers. But at the same time, that draws down on that motor, and that's a little motor. It's got little brushes in there, and I've already had to replace it once because I wore it down too bad before changing the brushes out. So I went ahead and bought a new motor while I still could. So yeah, but I got brushes for this one if it starts to act up, but hopefully we just don't get to that point. Let's see. Hey, thanks for stopping by, Woodchucker. Oh, we got some people watching. Thank y'all for watching. Please hit that like button. All right, I'm going to get back at it. Almost done. We'll be done. Yeah.
Hey Mark, hey Taylor. Sorry y'all, I'm getting the zone doing this. That's still bigger than the end. I need that a little bit smaller. Just don't look right yet. Getting there. Woo! Almost got there too quick. Alright, let's see. We might be able to fix that. I was afraid that was going to happen. Let's see. Alright.
That was unexpected, but I mean, not unexpected. I mean, I thought it was going to happen, but was hoping I could avoid it. I had a little snag right there. Y'all saw earlier I had a little catch down there. That's why I don't like using the jaw chuck to grab it, because when I do get a catch, it's going to catch. If I was doing just my live centers, most of the time when it catches, it'll stop the piece and everything still moves. Because you start working with stuff being so small down here. And then again, that wood's not stabilized and it done as good as it could be done. So yeah, we are working with what we got and we will get there. I'm gonna make sure I still got a good bite right here, and then I'm gonna try my best, because I pretty much got my shape. What I'm trying to do is the base. I'm gonna make this one a flat bottom, and so I want the base, you know, a little. I don't want this bigger than the base. I wanted the base to be a little bit bigger, so it would have a little more center of gravity, I guess, if somebody was to stand it up. But I can live with that. I'm gonna try to come down right here, and I don't know how much more. I don't know how much more stick I got up in there. So I'm gonna try to work that down right there and taper it back off and give me enough room to put my clip on there. But it happens. If it happens, it happens. Hey, Josh and Casey, how y'all doing? Thank you for that sticker. That was pretty cool. That made my day. I wasn't expecting that. And then it's like, wait a minute, I know that name. I said, no, wait. And then when I opened it, I was like, oh, heck yeah. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I greatly appreciate it. Hey, Amy, thanks for stopping by. But yeah, I had a boo-boo, so I'm going to try to fix my boo-boo. But the colors are looking good. The colors, I like the way they're blending through there. But like I said, I'm going to chop this one right here and then just polish the bottom off flat so it'll stand. So I'm hoping that I can recoup. But again, like I said, I don't know how much further up in here that insert goes, because I don't make them as long as I used to make them about half the stick, because the epoxy would want to bend on me. But I've gotten better at doing the epoxy, so I've just been doing less wood because I want to be able to see into it, you know. But yeah, all right, I'm babbling, so I'm gonna see if I can fix this. Oh goodness, I didn't want that to break. All right, we're gonna try. See, this is the bad thing about this right here and getting heavy-handed. I feel like I'm yelling. The bad thing about with like, all right, I use my body a lot and kind of sway and move and use my arms more than my hands right here. And then I feel the vibrations whenever I got my little lines and grooves in here. As y'all see my hands riding down there, that's what I'm doing. I'm feeling the piece more than I'm seeing the piece. But then I'm watching the shape disappear, you know. But it's hard to explain. But I have to be real careful right here because I'm grabbing down here. I have no support down here. So if I push too hard, it's going to try to push the piece off center and then to get it all wonky and mess it up. So this is going to be some practice for me. We'll see if I can manage. But we'll see. But yeah, here we go.
Woo, goodness. Hold on.
Turn that down. Where's my tool? Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and rotate this. I'm gonna rotate this bit a little bit and give me a sharper edge. And that's one thing I need, as sharp as edges I can get right there. I don't use the negative rate cutters yet. I want to try to get some of those. But right now with these carbide, just the regular cutters like this, I can turn around and sharpen that on a little diamond stone here in a little while. I got a couple of them and I'll keep them short, but I haven't rotated it in a minute. This, I got to change the screw head out. The screw's trying to strip a little bit. There we go. All right. Let's see if that works better. Hey, Ray. Thank you for coming by. I said, like I said, it broke. So, and then y'all see it wanting to bounce when I'm trying to get my cut. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to save it right there or not. But I'm going to try. If I can't save it right there, I'm just going to end up lopping it off. And I'll turn it into like a dab spoon or something. Because that way I don't have to have no wood to put the clip to. So I'll tune the epoxy down and then drill it out. And then just put a dab spoon in there. So it won't be a total loss. Either way, it's going to be used.
Too fast. I don't know.
I'm trying to support it with my finger while I'm turning so I don't push it too hard.
Drop my tool rest down just a little bit, see if that'll help. Woo. Ah, dadgummit.
Alright. See, Grumpy even has a bad day. Darn. At least it didn't bite me. Alright, let's figure this out. I want to salvage this piece. I don't think I have enough clip in there to cut it shorter. Let's see, where's my UV light? Alright, I'm fixing to kill the light for a minute. I want to see if I can see through here. Just, yeah, see, I don't have enough. Ooh, don't look at the light. So don't look at the light. Yeah, I don't have enough. Yeah, I should have done that before I even tried to turn it down. I don't have enough stick going in there to even try to really save that no more. I wouldn't have tried that. I see. Yeah, I should have used the light to begin with. But alright, so I'm gonna lock that off and we'll go from there. But it's gonna glow when I finish it. Like I said, I'm still gonna use it. I'm gonna put it on my bandsaw real quick and lock this end off so I can have a nice flat end to support onto, and then we'll turn it from there, and I'll work it down from there. I won't be so daggum aggressive no more. But look, there you go, cool glow to it. All right. It got a catch. I broke the end, and then so I'm trying to grab here, and I was trying to support it. That's what I was saying. I can't tell how hard I'm pushing and pulling and squeezing and stuff half the dang time. So that fine work with it not being supported, that's hard. But yeah, it got a catch. I turned the tip to a sharper edge, and then I dropped my tool rest a little bit thinking that would help me, and it made the angle just a little too aggressive, so it caught a lot harder. Yeah, just user error. I'm learning. Turn my lights back on. It scared the mess out of me though, because I don't like them catches. Alright. I might not finish this one on alive. Take that off. I had a good bite down here. That wasn't a problem. Weak right there. Alright, hold on, y'all. I gotta steal my hose. Put it on my soul. This is what I want more cameras for. That way y'all still be able to see what I'm doing. Right now, if y'all can hear me, trying to move my junk out of the way. I'm turning my bandsaw on, and I'm going to lock that end off real quick. You got to turn the vacuum on though. This mess up drives me nuts. My shops are wrecked with stuff everywhere, but the daggum epoxy drives me crazy. Go figure. And this daggum epoxy, that stuff will go everywhere too. I got a big old shop vac up underneath my cabinet, and my hose runs to a 5-gallon bucket with a little dust deputy on top of that to help separate everything. Works pretty daggone good. Let's see. And then with my bandsaw, I can't never cut nothing straight, but that's what I did. I went and lopped the end off. So now I'm going to come back in here with the tailstock, and we're going to get some good support on everything, and that way it shouldn't have no issue. We shouldn't. And now that I'm chopping it off when it don't need to bend, I might lose the chuck and see how that works too. Yeah, I'll just leave it on there. I did not want that to break. Oh, come on. We go the same way with the sawdust. I know you can't help it. It's part of the hobby, but daggone stuff goes everywhere. I try to keep all the stuff picked up, or I say picked up. I try to, like I said, I got my shop vac. It's the little bitty nozzle for it here, you know, and then the hose hooks into the center. And I got it, what is that, bungee corded to my lathe to hold it in place. And I got to have something. Gonna get me one of the, a traditional dust collector eventually. All right. Let's get this line back up and get this locked back in. And try it again. All right, won't be a roach clip from this one. Let me see, where's my box? Show y'all what I'm talking about. This is one of my older ones before I started playing with epoxy. But excuse me. Piece of wood that I turned down, put a little band on there, flat bottom. Oh, there we go. Flat bottom so it can stand up on its own like that. But it's got a spoon, wannabe little spoon deal in there for concentrates. When people do the medical or recreational, however they do it, you use your dabs or your sauce or just, there's a bunch of different names for all the mess anymore, but that's what they use those for. So we'll try to recover this mess and turn into one of those. But still gonna still gonna cut it off right here at the bottom, so it can stand up on its own, and then we'll keep that taper right there. And probably what I'll do is let's see, if I got enough, if it plays right, I'll try to bubble it down right there and make it like almost like a ball on the end and kind of almost round up. And then I'll use my center mark from my lathe right here for my drill, or my where I'll drill the hole at. Getting tongue tied too. All right. Turn this down, make sure we ain't all crazy here. Hey, that's not bad. Right off the bat, got a good note. I'll push the tailstock. There's still just a small piece of wood left right there in the end, so I'm pushing the tailstock up in there for some more support. Yeah. We'll be good with this one as long as I don't get too aggressive. We got, all right, we still got 10 people watching. Cool. Perry, heck yeah, I see you in here still, buddy. Thank you. Right? I mean, it's I can't help but to be heavy hands sometimes. But yeah, I mean, it's not a total loss. Like I said, at least I can recover out of it. And then the very end down there, if it's long enough, I do cartridge covers too. And so that's a small little 510 threaded cartridge. CBD or the medical marijuana stuff would be in it, but I can take the little stub that's left inside there and then drill it out and get it ready, and then possibly turn it into one of these. So like I said, I try to use every bit of the material, especially with the epoxy, because the epoxy, that stuff's just not cheap. So it's like when one breaks or one goes bad, it's like, oh, is it really? The wallet tightens up even tighter. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna make this work. But all right, enough babble. I'm gonna get back at it. Wait a minute. about messed up right there. I got to sit down to do this part. I need to get my tool rest back up there to where my stuff's hitting about center. I remembered I dropped it just a second ago to see if it would quit biting, and as soon as I go back to cut, I'm gonna bite again. So I gotta sit down because I have to look level across here, and I just with my neck bending over and trying to look at that to see if I'm level. That'll really make me sore. There we go. Because that's what they say, rule of thumb, I guess. That's one thing I do pay attention to. I'm self-taught on the lathe, but I do watch a lot of channels where they do some lathe work, so I pay attention to the do's and the don'ts. Because, I mean, hell, I want to be as safe as I can. I don't want to be an idiot about it. But that's what they say, is to get your tool rest about center of your work. Or not necessarily your rest, but where you're coming in with your bit. Like, see how, I don't know if y'all can see at this angle, but I'm higher than my piece, so I need to bring it down to where my cutter's hitting about center of my piece. Oh goodness, loosen up. There we go. Bring it down about right in there. That's about it right there. I need to put me a piece of tape right across here, find the sweet spot, and then I can put me a piece of tape right here, and then I can just pick it up and use the tool rest to match the tape, and I'll be good. Oh. Back is getting to me, yo. All I got out here to sit on while I do this is just a regular kitchen chair, and I just got it turned around, and the back of it's at the right height where I can prop my butt and sit down a little bit, and that takes the pressure off my back. And then I got my foot propped up on a daggum gallon sized can of stain underneath my table, and it's just the right height that keeps me propped up on the chair. It takes the pressure off. You got to find all them little secret spots, I guess. All right, let me turn the vacuum back on and get at it. All right.
Here we go. We're gonna knock this on out and get this done with. Crazy. I know to get the argue. Oh no, crap. Woo. Oh no. Alright, let me do something different here. Now do this without getting a catch. Get that good one there. Woo, I did it again. Let go. Oh, come on. I'm not wanting to wake up, but I need it to wake up. Okay, right here, brother. Where did it go? Okay. Alright, I'm gonna have to stop right there. I'm gonna screwing it up more. Ooh, gotta watch that edge. Oh, bummer. I'm gonna start sanding it down. I'll start off with some 150. Ooh, all them pool marks. I don't like it. I don't like this piece, but I gotta finish it, so I'm gonna finish it. I just don't like the way it came out. Not what I wanted. And this is where I gotta be careful and not hit my dang thumb again.
William on the Shouts, he did that daggum stuff. You seen his thumb wrapped up. He caught his thumb on that jerker. It don't feel good, but it's like when you frame houses or something and you use that big old hammer, and people say, well, you use that big old thing. You won't hit yourself at once or twice with it. A couple of times on that, you stay mindful of it, but sometimes you ain't paying attention. Too busy watching that line and bloop, bloop. It happens. Sophie, thank you for stopping through. Okay, let me do a little something to that. I don't like that being just so straight. Gotta be careful with the fingers. Almost. Yeah, crazy. Okay, that's why I'm getting that flat spot. I got a little flat spot in my daggum carbide bit right there. There's no more sharpening this one. I think it's time to retire that one. Let me turn that flat spot out of there some. Goodness, that might have been why I was getting that catch too. I just did see that. I was trying to get that little bevel in there and it kept staying flat and I kept hitting it. And I was like, that should have a nice curve in there yet. And then that's why I started looking right there and I noticed that it was, can't see it good. There's a little flat spot in there. All right. Hey, Miss June. I got, let's see. I'm watching chat off and on. I got to get used to trying to look at chat a little more. Josh, I don't have a full face shield. I wear glasses, so I mean that does give me some eye protection. But I just got my regular dust mask going on here. I would like to get me one of those big old setups and everything, and I'll get there eventually. Like I said, it's just I'll get what I can get as I get there. It gets so daggum hot down here though. Summertime working, I don't know if I'd be able to keep myself underneath the face shield like that. I've seen some of them, like Jordy Johnson had a cool helmet deal that cuffed your whole head and had fans blowing everything on you. And then Jake Thompson's got a turning site or page, and he's got a crazy looking helmet like that. I mean, it looks like a daggum little astronaut helmet almost. But I'll get to it eventually, or get me one sooner or later. But all right, now that I turned my carbide tip, maybe I won't catch, and I'm just gonna try to get a little bevel in right there, kind of clean that up, and then I'm just, like I said, I'm tapering it right there to nothing, and where the hole goes in for center, that's going to be my pilot hole for my drill bit on the drill press. And then I'll drill my hole through there, and then I'll put some epoxy and everything on a spoon and put that spoon in there. And then that way it won't be a total loss. But, all right, let me turn the vacuum on and get back at it. I said, I just got to get that little bit out with the tool, and the rest will be polishing.
There we go. It's getting better now. Nice. Ooh! Ooh! At least I was underneath it when I hit it. If I'd have been up there, oh, that would have hurt. Oh, man. I could try to roll that with the tool, or I can do it with sandpaper. Probably gonna use sandpaper. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna get back to polishing it up now. I just gotta watch my fingers. There we go. Woo. Okay, going with 240. It could be a little bit shorter, but I've messed around with this piece long enough. I need to finish it up. Be careful about that. Okay, 220, look, there we go, 220. There's a little slab of a piece now. You bothered me. Almost clean like this. That was 320, and now we're going to go to 400. That's still so cool, Spike. That's just awesome, dude. I'm still thinking about that. If you're still in here, I know you have to be just ecstatic. That's just, like I said, that's so cool. Alright, 600. All the little pieces of paper up and I'll get done. Alright, turn all that off. Now
I can take this off and go to the wet sanding. Wet sanding ain't as bad. At least it ain't as noisy. I think I sanded it good enough. We'll see when I start polishing it up. I said, I'm not gonna lie, if I wouldn't have been on a live, I don't think I'd have finished this piece because it kind of got on my nerves a few times. It ain't nothing but my fault. I've been doing too much here lately. Let's see. That's too much here. Too thick. Let me fix this. Here we go. Just been doing a lot. I'm trying to get some inventory worked up for that little table event. Wishful thinking. I'm hoping I can get rid of a bunch of stuff because that would be awesome for the shop and the channel. There's quite a few things that I want to get at the moment that's going to help the channel out. Like, I do want to turn pins. I'm not set up to do pins. I need to get the mandrel and then all the stuff to drill it and flush everything up and whatnot. There's a couple of good starter kits out there I got my eye on. I gotta save that up. Grumpy's on that tight budget. And not gonna lie, most of it goes for my medicine. Dealing with the chronic pain and being anxiety and all that mess. And I have a very small budget. That's the bad part about it. Don't get enough money to help pay for it all and then do all my other stuff too, so I have to pick and choose. But yeah, this YouTube stuff's pretty important, so I'm trying to get everything set up for it. Alright, I'm wet sanding 1,000 grit. I'm babbling too, so oh, that squeaky squeak's gonna drive me nuts. There we go. What it's doing, this is a live center right here. You can catch it, and it's just got enough pressure that it's making that bearing in there squeak. Alright, let's see how this polishes up, y'all. Chris, hey, thank you. So I no longer use my legs, so I can send you my pin manager and some blanks. Oh, dude, that would be just awesome, but you gotta let me get set up. I don't have no shipping funds or nothing right now, so, but yeah, I gotta get my shipping funds and whatnot right. But I gotta the lathe I have, it's got the MT1 Morris taper or whatever, not Morris taper, it's the MT1 chuck and everything is what I gotta use. A lot of the bigger lathes use MT2, and I believe it's MT1. Let me look at my numbers to make sure. Yeah, I have the MT1. It's the MT1 with the the 1 inch by 8 TPI for the thread, I guess. Y'all hear my alarm clock going off? Or my alarm clock, my house alarm? That's my doggy. Somebody's outside, she don't know. Or the grandkids showed up. One of the two. She'll go crazy over the kids or any delivery people or somebody out there. She's a black lab pit bull blue heeler mix. Crazy old dog. Supposed to be my wife's dog. I love boxers. When we lost our last boxer, I was done with big dogs. I wasn't getting no more dogs. I put unreasonable expectations on finding a big dog to keep from getting another big dog. Like, I love boxers, but I like the brindle boxer. We've always had the brown skin with the black stripes, brindles, and then you have reverse brindles out there where they're all black with the brown stripings, or you have the albino. And I wanted to get, I told my wife, so yeah, we're not going to get another boxer unless I can get a white brindle, pretty much. But she was wanting one. She was wanting another dog bad. And one of the people we grew up knowing, or I'm sorry, not we, my daughter grew up knowing, their dog had puppies, and my wife showed them to me on Facebook one day. Says, look, we can get a puppy, da, da, da. And so yeah, I said, what the heck. And so got her this dog, and I'm disabled, so I'm always home, so she's always around me, up underneath my feet, and all that good stuff. So basically she's my dog. She's my wife's dog, but she's my baby. I love my fur babies. We spoil them just like we do our kids. Right, this is looking good. Let's see. Alright, washing some of that slurry off before I go to the next grit, y'all. Alright, that was 1,000. So we're gonna jump to 1,200 next. Again, just wet sanding. This is where you get the beauty with the epoxy, is when you take the time and start sanding and polishing like this. That's why I gotta go through all my grits, because it'll tell on you at the end if you skip a grit or you don't get one good enough. You'll see those scratches in there still. Gotta watch them fingers. And then what I'll do is just gotta make sure I get the end good right here. But when I take it off the lathe, I'll cut that little nub off, and then I'll polish the bottom of it by hand. I'll go through all the grits like I did on the lathe, and smooth it out like that. I'll do that sitting down though, when I can take a break. Alright, it's feeling good. And when you do this, you can feel the, like I said, I go off the vibration. You can feel it's hard to explain it. You can feel if you still got work to do. That's what I'm trying to say. You can tell if it's ready to go to the next grid or not once you get used to doing it. I need to hook my air compressor up right here and start blowing all this off before I polish it, because getting all that dust on there, that ain't gonna do nothing but scratch it. Alright. Let me get my paper towel. Almost time for the Yorkshire. I love that Yorkshire. It makes it look good. Alright, I'm just washing all the slurry off before I go to the 1500. Some of that slurry from the higher, or the larger grits can scratch it up when you think you're actually doing good. Alright. A lot of people use denatured alcohol for that, but yeah, water, you gotta use what you got, right? Alright, 1500 now. This is polishing up pretty good. I don't know who's outside. I hear somebody out there talking. Somebody must have showed up. I'm gonna hate it if it's my grandbabies. Oh, see, I just hit that again and knocked dust everywhere. I gotta make sure this spot right here is real good before I take it off, because I'll be running that sandpaper across the bottom. Ooh, hit my finger right there, but it ain't going fast. Alright, I think we're doing good. Alright, that's it for the 1500. Let me dry this off. And I'll try to go with some Yorkshire polish. Somebody's outside now, I'm nosy. Dry this off, and then that's why you use the denatured alcohol, because it'll dry off quicker. Alright. Alright, trying to get the mess out of the way here. Well, I guess I'm not tying another clip today, so it don't matter if I got a mess in there. I was gonna go down in the box to tie the clip, but I'm not tying the clip now. I do have to drill it out there. Yeah, this is the Yorkshire polish. Where's my lid? Here we go. That's what I use. And now y'all can hear my motor kicking back and forth. It's turned down as low as it'll go, and it's the brushes, I guess. Kind of like how your Dremels will do. Your Dremels start acting up a little bit, and you got to clean them brushes or replace them. That's what this motor does. Not complaining. Sounds like I'm complaining. I'll be complaining when it goes out and I don't have a lathe, but for right now, I'm grateful to have what I got. Yes, sir, Yorkshire polish. I love it. It's like it stepped my game up with my roach clips and stuff for sure when I started using the polish. Because beforehand, I would sand everything down and wet sand it real good. But I only went to, I think 1500 was my finest grit, and so that just don't polish it up like the Yorkshire does. But I'd go from 1500, and then it's still kind of cloudy looking. Oh, I did it again. But when it was still cloudy, I would turn around and take and use like a polyurethane spray or some mess and seal it that way, and then it would give it that glassy look like this, but you'd have runs and crap like that in there, and I'd never sand that out. But yeah, like I said, using the Yorkshire, there ain't no run marks. It stays pretty. And then I'm gonna take it one step further. Eventually I'm gonna get me some buffing wheels, and I have a 6-inch bench grinder that I can put some buffing wheels on there, and I think that's what I'm gonna do. But because I don't have traditional lathe tools, I can't sharpen them, and I don't have the jig set up to sharpen them, so the carbide tips just work easier for me. But with the bench grinder I got, that's what I can do with it, is put the buffing pads on there and buff everything out with that. dry all this off of there without creating more dust. Uh-oh, now my wife's leaving. Where's she going? And there I go. A heads up would have been nice. Let's see, let's brainstorm. Where could she be going? She's not going after supper. I got a pot roast going in there for supper. Alright, I'm gonna run one more. Turn that down. One more bit of polish on there, and then take it all off, and we'll be good. Careful with the ends. Don't want to hit my finger. Right, dry my fingers. And now I'll try to take the rest of this polish off. Yes, that's gonna look pretty. And then again, right there where the tailstock's going in, I'm gonna drill my hole to put the spoon to make it a dab spoon like that right there. I don't know if anybody's out there new that don't know what I'm doing, but that's what I'm doing. Everybody that's been watching and putting up with my crazy show, thank you so much. Woo, I hit my finger, but it's not too bad. Didn't go as expected, but at least it wasn't a total loss. Still gonna be a pretty dab spoon. Alright, y'all. Oh, nice. Put a lid on that. Cut that off. Move some stuff out of the way. I got a messy shop. Move this sandpaper out of the way. Trying to get my little box situated where I can I'm going to attempt to move the camera from that mount to the other mount, and then I'll try to put the spoon in here. But let's see. Break this off of there, clean the mess up. Can't let my tools get wet. This parting tool I was using towards the end, I gotta try to restore it. It is nasty. It was my father-in-law's. He had them sitting in his shop for a long time, not using them. Old Craftsman set. That's the only I got a whole set of traditional lathe tools like that, but they're old. They all need to be restored, or at least try to get all the surface rust and stuff knocked off of them. But once I do that, like I said, I don't have any jigs or anything to sharpen the traditional tools, and I don't think with my heavy-handed issues half the time, I don't think I'd be able to sharpen stuff traditionally. I don't know if I'll be able to keep it at the right angle without putting too much pressure, messing up the bevel or the grind. So I'm just trying to wipe up some of this water, y'all. I don't need this stuff on here and make stuff start to rust. Move this out from underneath there. Y'all can see on my lathe bed right there where I've let it get wet before. Put some oil on there to try to keep it from getting worse. Let's see. Let me take this off. What's that, vinegar? I don't got my reading glass back on. What do I use vinegar for? Wipe the vinegar on my rust. Will that make the rust go away? I'm back and forth on chat, trying to follow, do this and do that. All right, let's see. Let me lob off the end real quick. Get that over with. Right. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna get a little turbulence. See if I can drop stuff. See if I can get y'all up in here without hitting that off button. The way my phone mount grabs my phone, it tries to cover up the screen and I can't see it too good. Let's see. Move my mount. I got my mount all out of place. I just did a, let me zoom down. There we go. Just did a sticker video. So my mount's out of whack. All right, I didn't lose y'all. Oh, goodness gracious. Now I can sit down. Whew. Like I said, I've been propped up on my chair, but it don't support my back too good. It takes the pressure off. Anybody that don't know, chronic pain. I think a lot of us fight that chronic pain and stuff out there in this community. But I'll put that right there so y'all can see that. But yeah, my neck and everything gets to mess on me real bad, and just standing up. I blew out my lower back when I was younger doing construction work. Had a vasectomy done. They wanted me to have the surgery in 2009, and I couldn't afford to stop working. I had to keep working and whatnot, and so I just pushed through it. And by 2011, I could not hardly move around. I had a cane, and my sciatic nerve was on fire 24/7. The pain just did not stop. It got to a point where I wanted to step out in traffic and let a car hit me in my hip, figuring that'd make my leg quit hurting. I didn't do anything that stupid, but that's how I felt with the pain. And finally, I had to quit working, and I had to get the surgery. And but by then, damage was done, so I have a permanent impression on my spinal canal down there. So my spinal canal still thinks that I have a bulged disc pushing in on it, but there's no longer a bulged disc there anymore. It's there. But like I said, damage was done. If I'd have had the surgery sooner, I'd have probably been in a heck of a lot better off. But it's there. And then I have degenerative disc disease going on down there. And then anybody that's got any kind of trauma and whatnot, that's just part of it. It's just advanced arthritis, I guess, is how they describe it. So it's steadily going to get worse. I guess deep down, Spike, you're still here? Yes, sir. Deep down, that's why I was pushing so hard to get you in that chair, because I know that feeling. I have not got there 100%, but I do know how it feels to be able to do something and then no longer be able to do that, and that be your sanity, that be your peace, and you can't get that peace. I understand how that feels. I feel like I'm going to be in that boat eventually, if I don't have a dang heart attack first. But yeah, with my lower back shot out, it hurts all the time. The longer I'm on my feet, the more that sciatic nerve, I call it the psychotic nerve, goes to getting on to me. But let's see. Let me drill this out real quick. I forgot to do that. I can put that spoon in there. Won't take me but a hot second, y'all. But yeah, I feel that that's where I'm going to be in before it's over with. I'm not going to be able to be on my feet moving. I feel that I'm going to end up having to have a chair. And right now, I'm so hard-headed and my anxiety messes with me so bad. I'm one of them kind of people, you look at me, oh, there's nothing wrong with him. He's not disabled or nothing. Because if you look at me, I look fine. I have all my limbs. I look healthy. I look like I should be able to move around and do all that. But it's like I can't. The more I do, the more it gets to me physically. And then I start letting that stuff get to me mentally after a while, and yeah, and then that's where, like, I'm so grateful to Carbon Fusion and the Carbon Fusion community. I was in a bad spot in my head at one time fighting my depression. I'm not gonna lie, I still have a lot of depression, you know, but it is what it is. But I was just in a bad place. Carbon Fusion helped me get out of that. And that's why I'm so grateful to Jordy's channel and all the members out of there. Jordy don't realize it or not, but he did create a community. He might not want to be responsible for it or take credit for it, but yeah. Spike, you said it. Hashtag it's Jordy's fault. Yes, sir. It's gonna always be Jordy's fault. Now, I don't like the way that come out because that's got that wood right there on the end. That's not epoxy. I didn't cut all the wood out of it, but it'll work out. Let's see, make sure I'm in camera here. Good. Let's see, right there, I think. But yeah, I'll epoxy that in, and it's not dead center neither. I don't like that one, but we'll make it work. Like I said, it was pretty good for as crazy of a time as I had with it. Let's see. Trying to see if I got it in the camera shot good. Oh, too much. See, this is the hard part here, is trying to figure out where I got to put stuff. I know my left is my right is my left, up is down, and all that good stuff, but hey, I get confused. Alright, here we go. I gotta start showing some of the color now. Awesome. Can't see the whole thing is the way I'm holding it, but yeah, Perry, I did. It was, I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to sound like a whiny, but I know we all have our issues and everything, but just the carbon and the carbon fusion and that community, that helped me with my issues. It was a good thing for me. And then the YouTube, it's got some pretty color in it. I'm just spinning it around. I'm trying to use the YouTube as a way to help me with my anxieties as well. Like I said, I had some major social anxiety. Bad. That's like this whole event that I'm invited to try to do. It's a good thing, but then it's a bad thing because my grumpy's batshit crazy self it's gonna be fun to see how long I hang out. Oh, I hope I don't get up in there and bug out and gotta go. Oh, that'll be a mess. I'm gonna try to do a live on my phone too, to see. Well, I mean, do a live. I'm doing a live with my phone now, but I'm on my home network, my home internet. I don't know how well my network will hold alive, but I'm gonna try because I figured that'll help too. Shaking, y'all got me nervous, but I figured that live, if I can have people, if just people show up that I know here and there going through there, that'll give me a little bit of comfort, a little bit of support, as silly as it sounds. I won't be as nervous, I guess, because I feel like I know people, and that's a lot of my problem. If I know the crowd, and I've been around it a little bit, been around the people some, I'm a little more comfortable. I'm still a little awkward as heck, and I get tongue-tied with my words and stuff anymore, and then when I start stuttering or speaking funny, that's when I feel like everybody starts judging me and whatnot, so that kicks in the anxiety. But I get comfortable, I can dang sure get to babbling. Nervous wreck, but I'll babble. All right, I'm taking my I'd put UV resin on the end of there and then pushed it down in there with the tool, the tip of the tool a little bit, and that's what I'm doing to seal up the end right there. Hey Bear, hey Bear, hey Mr. Roy. I guess it would help if I looked at chat again, huh? Oh, cool. Thank y'all for stopping by. I greatly appreciate it. Hey Suzanne, I thought you left. Did you come back? Awesome. Let's see. Hey William. Hope everybody's had a good day. I said my day's going pretty good, except for this daggum clip or this piece right here. It didn't want to work out with me. But I think that's more my own fault. Like I said, my neck and stuff's been bothering me. I've been pushing it, so I said I get heavy-handed, and that's what it was. I was pushing in too hard, and then when I broke that end, yeah, that was it. But all right, you can see here, I cut it a little short. Got my saw marks right there. But I'll take and flip that upside down and I'll run it back and forth on some sandpaper for a while and go through all the grits and get that right and polish up the end right there so it'll look good. But that's it. But this will work here because it wasn't a total loss. I only did 2 of those colors. But the cool thing is I guess where'd it go? I guess it could be a roach clip dab spoon combo. They buy it and have a matching roach clip and a matching dab spoon to go with it or something. Oh, there's my puppies. They're going outside. But yeah, this was the roach clip I did off of it. So these were the same colors, but you know, when you do the blanks, they're gonna mix up and do what they want to do. So that's how they came out. William, I'll try to catch your live. I wake up so daggum early. By the time y'all are going live, I'm getting ready to fall asleep. Let's see, I'm moving it the right direction. I'm trying to get the end of it. There we go. Not used to the screen going vertical. When I do my videos, it's normally horizontal. And so trying to adjust with it vertical is a little different. Let me get that out of the way. That's it's medicine time. That's for sure. There's medicine time. But again, I don't do any opioids or pharmaceuticals. This is my pharmaceutical these days. I hope everybody's had a good day. I know I'm babbling. If y'all got something to do, y'all don't have to hang out. But, you know, that was today's project. We'll call that a little dab spoon and then the roach clip. And then you can see this is where I polished it off. This, you know, because I cut this piece off yesterday kind of egg shaped and told y'all I was going to leave it a little bit bigger so I could hand sand it and work it down. And so yeah, I think it rounded out pretty good and then polished up real good. I said, heck, that might have a better polish to it than the rest of the stick does. I was sitting there watching everybody's live, sitting there just playing with the polish and working it. It's got a good shine to it. Oh, my eyeball. Let's see. Right. Yeah. I like I said, I medicated a little bit beforehand, and then when I was messaging with you, I was medicating then for sure. I was just excited. That was so cool. I know you're probably still just so excited. But heck yeah. Yeah, this is cool. It turned out nice. I like that. Like I said, then I got to get back into getting my molds set up and doing some more molds. I've just been, I normally do them out of some cardstock paper and I wrap them around the dowel and do it all kind of crazy that way. but I've changed it and started pouring them a little bit different, using different things. I'm trying out different routes. uh, I've used some PVC pipe and stuff, but I got to get the proper mold release and whatnot, so the pipes are really only usable once or twice, and then it's too messed up on the inside, so I had to move on. But I'm gonna buy some Schedule 40 pipe and then cap the end of it, and then I'm gonna get a small thing of mold mixed where you mix your own molds, because I'm gonna make a cork to go in the end of the cap, and kind of, let's see, where we at? Where is my piece at? Gracious. I just moved it out of the daggone way. There's one of the pipes. And I'm looking for the damn plug. Well, I don't know where I put the plug at. Anyway, I took a piece of a fatter dowel rod that's about the same size of my pipe, like that there, and it fit in, and then I centered it up and got me a hole in the center, and I put my insert in that center hole, and then tape off the bottom, and so it's basically like that's the dowel rod sticking up in the plug, and plug it in like that. Then I got my pipe standing upright, and I poured my epoxy in there. Y'all come on, be good. I pour my epoxy in down that way, and then once it's done and cured, I get here we go. I get this dowel rod. I done beat the end out of it pretty good, but I put in there like that, and then just try to beat it with a hammer until I knock the blank out. I don't have any good mold release. I took in there it is right here. I took some Vaseline and put it on a paper towel and wadded the paper towel up real thick, and just got the Vaseline, kind of like pipe dope when you do industrial water pipes and you slip them together. They use this stuff like pipe dope, and it's basically like a petroleum based stuff to slide together. And I figured, well, heck, that epoxy won't stick to that, so I coated the inside of the tube with that, and it worked. But like I said, it's not true mold release, so it didn't work too good. But this is my little cork that I was talking about. I did that, and then I'll put the insert down in there like that, and then that's what I put in the epoxy to hook my clip to, and then plug that into the bottom like that, tape off the bottom of the pipe, and then put it in my little thing like that and hold it up. And that's what I did these blanks with. And then the ones that I showed you at the beginning, the sneak peek, I'll show y'all. If you're in the live, I'll show y'all. These are my next colors here. And I did those with that pipe deal to make my blank. That's why they're not all that shiny, because that's where it was sticking to the Vaseline in there, I guess. But these are gonna glow pretty good too. But I let these, you can see where it tried to bubble up in the end. I let them cure. I thought I let it cure enough. This one didn't bubble up as bad. But normally, I'll mix them up, put them in the pressure pot, and I take them back out of the pressure pot within, say, maybe 6 hours, because I'm just anxious to see how the colors worked out. But like I said, without that being stabilized, the air, as soon as I let the pressure off, the air tries to escape, and it's got to go somewhere, so it pushes its way back through the epoxy when it's not quite cured. But I let these sit in there for probably about 14 hours before I took them out. But I still managed to get a bubble, because the crazy thing is I know it's bubbling after the fact, because the PVC pipe, that's a perfectly round mold. It's not going to bend. And right now, if you feel that where that bubble is, it's a lump. So it formed after it come out of the pipe. So it's got to be air coming back out of the wood right there. But like I said, I got a plan. I'm stacking up everything I sell whenever I go to the festival, when I go to the event. All that's going to go back into the channel. I said I got to get a vacuum chamber. I want to get all kind of stuff. You know, because I'm gonna start doing pins too, and like I said, the way I do my blanks, they can incorporate right into a pin blank because I don't have to put the insert in there. I can just lop it off right there, and I have a pin blank to start with, you know, and then drill it out and all that. And I have the Jacobs chuck from my lathe. I have one of those. Like I said, I just got to get the bushings and the mandrel sets, and I'll be rocking. And then it'll be a lot of roach clips and a lot of pins, because then that'll be a diversity to what I'll be able to sell, you know, if I go to events, because that's always been my holdback from trying to do any crafts or any festivals or any events before, was I really just didn't have enough inventory of stuff to take with me to make it worth paying for the table or the setup, because I was afraid, you know, I'd make that investment and not sell enough to pay for it or whatnot. You know, and so this dispensary deal that's going on, that's just awesome, because there's not a charge. They're, you know, they're not charging the local vendors. They want to help support the local vendors and stuff. And so, yeah, that's cool. And then their social media groups and I guess marketing team or whatever are supposed to get up with me, because they're supposed to put me on their social media to advertise, and I'm going to be up there and all that. So heck yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm going to make it fun so I can continue doing it. And then that won't discourage me that bad. If I go up there and sit all day and I don't sell anything, at least I haven't lost any money, you know. And then that's another thing I was joking around. If I was to invest a bunch of money and then go sit somewhere and try to sell something and then not sell anything, oh man, that would be like a gut kick. It would make me not want to do anything else. Yeah, so, but yeah. Oh, let's see. Turn off all the lights and get some good glow shots now that it's dark. Charge them up, and I'm gonna get me some little USB black lights to put inside my box here too, on the inside of the wall. And then when I do my pieces, I'll be able to turn that on and check out the glow that way. It'll charge it up better, I think. That's not too bad. My little flashlight here is going dead. But not bad. Hey, I can show y'all my color mixes. Oh, while the light's off. Let's see. I have two different glow pigments. I got one set of glow pigments. These, they only glow under a UV light. So you gotta have sunlight or UV light to charge them. But I'll take those and I'll mix those glow colors with my regular mica pigments that I have. That's the closest color. Say like if I'm using a purple, I'll try to find a purple glow and put in there, or green or blue, whatever, and try to match the color. And then I have these two glow pigments, and these are a heavier pigment. They're the powder is a lot thicker, more coarse. This is real fine, say like powder sugar, and then this is like almost sugar in the consistency. So this pigment's heavier, and then when you look at it in a finished clip, it's more spotty, more speckly. It stands out, but it looks good. But yeah, that's my pigment colors for glow. Turn the light back on, y'all. But yeah, that's what I do. That's my main colors there. And then again, this was just cheap nail art decoration glow color. I just got as much as I could for, you know, got the most bang for my buck. As many colors and as much powder. That's what I look at when I order this stuff. I'm gonna try to start using eye candy pigment. I want to start getting into some of their pigment colors, because they got some awesome colors. And then Let's Resin, I've been looking at some of their color setups that they have, and they got some neat setups. And so I want to try a different style pigment. But then these are just all my random colors. Again, I ordered just a generic mix off of Amazon and just got a handful of colors. And so I have all these inserted in one of those little spinner picky wheels on my phone, and so I got tired of trying to figure out what colors to use because it seems like I keep going to the same color combos whenever I pick them. So I'll turn around and turn that app on and spin it a few times and take those colors and go with it. But yeah, that's what I got so far. Yeah, go ahead. It's gonna get a little noisy in here. My wife's fixing to start washing some clothes. But yeah, my shop's in my garage. It's a 1-car garage, but no cars come in here. Yeah, my carving box and stuff's in here. But back before I had my surgery and was still a little more able when we first moved in, I started turning the garage into a shop. So I framed houses a long time ago. I'm one of them idiots that's a jack of all trades, master of none. I started off detailing cars, digging ditches, went into framing houses, then I went into heavy equipment and grading and paving. That's what blew my back out towards the end, was playing with concrete and asphalt. And then wore out heavy equipment and your big old bulldozers and excavators and front end loaders and all that kind of stuff. I was that guy. And then you ever watch the asphalt crew asphalting the road, and you got the big machine that's pushing the dump truck that's got all the asphalt coming into it? Well, when I started, I was one of the yo-yos on the ground with a shoveling that asphalt everywhere. But as it progressed, I become the yo-yo that run the machine. So the bad thing about it is I didn't have to do any physical labor, but that's the hottest part of the job. That asphalt comes to you 200 and something degrees in the truck, and then that machine you're sitting on's got torches and stuff, heating it up even hotter as it comes out, and it ain't nothing but a giant steel machine, and you're sitting on top of it. So I was like an egg scrambling on that thing in the summers down here. And remember, I'm down here in Florida, and we get triple digits with them heat indexes. But yeah, that's where I ended. But yeah, I babble, but that's grumpy. Thank you everybody for watching. I think I'm going to go ahead and end this. I probably wasted enough of y'all's time, but yeah, William, for sure. Wait, what did you say? It says check out our sponsors. I did. I'm subbed to them. I subbed to their, yes sir, to Get Roasted. Yes sir, I subbed to their channel. I did. And I'm gonna send y'all a little gift one of these days. Like I said, I gotta get my shipping funds together. I know you could probably. Yep. Yes sir. But yeah, that's a cool channel. I checked that out. Like I said, we don't have anything like that down here that's ever given me an opportunity until this dispensary that's just showed up. They invited me to set a table up. I've tried to get my stuff in other smoke shops and stuff around, but they want a business license or wholesale license, and I never really, I didn't want to file for any of that. And I don't want to mess anything up with this. Where we live, we're residential and commercial, so if I try running a business out of here, it might change us to commercial tax rates and commercial utility fees and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm a broke old goat. I can't afford that, so I never went after the business license and stuff. But I don't have to have any of that just to be a vendor sitting out there on the sidewalk sale. So hopefully that'll rock and I'll do good. Right, I gotta work on that, William. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I gotta get my prices set, because it's like right now the epoxy, it's so expensive, and so I don't want to undersell myself for all the work that I put into it and the time. But it's when I go around local with these, they're $20. I don't blink an eye. It's $20 or nope, I ain't selling. And then when I've sold a few off of YouTube, I've had a few people contact me through YouTube and get them. And when I sell them that way, just to cover shipping and everything, I charge $40. And that's the stick. And then I ship it in a flat rate box, bubble wrap the heck out of it, and insulate it all real good. I throw a sticker or two in there, and then I'm sure y'all have seen some of Jordy Johnson's videos where he carves the lighter cases. I do that too. And so I might throw a carved lighter case in there. So when somebody buys it for $40, they get more than just the clip. I try to add a little bit to it, but not all the time. But I mean, that is my basic, because that'll be, you say it's almost $11 or just at, like, I think 11.60 or 10. Yeah, I think it was 11.60 last time I shipped one off in the box. And then tape, bubble wrap, and all that, because like I said, I insulate the heck out of them when I ship them out. Aye, Bear. I seen that. When, like I said, with the way I carry them into the dispensaries when I go, I don't, let's see. When I go into the shops, I don't go in there all boisterous and loud saying, hey, you want to buy a roach clip? I don't, my anxiety, no, sir. I'm not that person. So I don't even say anything. I look like an old hillbilly Flavor Flav walking in there with 15 or 20 roach clips hanging around my neck, but I go in there and I just sit quietly, and I'll read the room. I'll watch it. I'll look around. And if I see somebody looking at them, and if they make eye contact with me and they look puzzled, then, then I might say, yeah, they're roach clips, but I gotta have some kind of icebreaker. Somebody has to say something or almost initiate it before I say anything. And then I'll talk to people about it, and then that gets people interested. But I've had several people that say, oh, I thought they were duck calls. I wasn't sure what those were. And I was like, you're not the only person that said that. So yeah, I got to look into that. That might be something I could do one of these days. But I for sure definitely going to get into doing the pins and everything. Because like I said, I have fun making the blanks, and coming up with the different colors. And just because, like I said, the epoxy, it's got a mind of its own. Them colors, I mean, I mix it and swirl it and try to, but you can't say, yep, I'm going to get you a stick that looks like that, because you can't control how it's going to mix up and swirl. You can just say, yeah, it'll have those colors, but I can't guarantee you how they're going to look, but yeah. There's like Amy's her blooms that she does, just the way she drops all those dyes and stuff on that resin, and then just the colors, just they do their thing. It's just awesome. Oh my god. Yeah, I got an email on my page, William. It's an easy one to do. It's Grumpy's LaidBak Carvings. Just like the YouTube title. Just remember, when anybody emails me, when you spelled LaidBak, so many people will send that email and they don't think about it, and it's just muscle memory. When they type it out, they put a C in back, and that ain't it. You got to leave the C out of there. What you mean I could make some money with those colors? Let me see here. Let's see. Oh, hey, hold on. While I'm just sitting here babbling, I can show off some of my clips that I've done, because I don't have a video for every clip that I've done. I've made a ton of clips. Let's see. Let's see. I gotta unhook it. But this is the lanyard I wear up in the dispensary, so you can just see through all that. That's a handful of clips on that stick. So that's a couple of pounds worth of roach clips, easy. That's just how I market and advertise, I guess. And then, like I said, unless somebody says something, I don't go in there all crazy talking about it. I'll do a few of them at a time. And then anything with epoxy, when I do my work, if it's got epoxy or resin in there, it glows. And I've always tried to do that, whether I mix the acrylic paint in there with it or the UV epoxy or whatever. Ooh, let me close the top of my box. That'll help out. There we go. Yeah, anything with the resin on there glows. And then I do the Lichtenberg burning and stuff on some of them. And so yeah, I have a good mix. And like I said, I was doing nothing but wooden ones and stuff for a long time. And then like I just recently started playing with the epoxy. Like I said, the epoxy is just I have a fetish with that, because there's just so many colors, and just you can do so daggone much with it. But yeah, this blue one on the end right here, this is one of the ones with a heavier pigment in there. You can see how you can almost see the pigment in the resin. And then that's oak. This is some oak that Mr. Ray from Ray and Sandy sent me. Epoxy, cedar. This is some cedar that my buddy at Hedrick's Homegrown Aquatics bought me. He got me a big old box of that. That's just awesome right there. I still have. Ooh, I got a lot of that. But with the cedar, that stuff I have to be careful because I'm hubbed up here in my garage, you know, and I don't open everything up, but I do run through a vacuum and all, but just I can only do so much of that at a time, and then I got to give my sinuses a break because that stuff will plug you up real good. And then that's some there, and then every bit of that's got glow pigment in it. And like I said, if it's epoxy, it's gonna glow. Whether most of it's got to be a black light or a UV light. And then here's some more. And then this one here, I say, yeah, this one here, you can see it good. That's all wood right through here. Little bit of resin left right here, but then the whole end is like an egg, and severed that worked out good. Stayed on there. I was afraid it was gonna come off, but it worked out good. I can't talk. And then some of these are my older ones. Camera's not going to show it good, but there's like runs because I took UV epoxy and I would paint it with the UV epoxy when I was done to get that bright shine back to it, because I didn't have all the stuff to polish it as good yet. But like I said, now I've got that Yorkshire polish, and then all of my other stuff I'm better at polishing it, so I don't paint them or seal them with anything. I just do them clean like that. And then let's see. It's just show and tell time, I guess. Y'all don't have to hang out, y'all can run. This is a little lighter mold that I did. I got me a little alien guy on there, and then all that resin glows. And a little UFO guy with some stars on it. Little UFO, little alien. And then somebody don't like wood spirits or something like that, I did a little flower in there and a little bumblebee on there. And then that glows. Almost all my lighter cases will glow under the light. You know, like I said, Grumpy's just, I like everything. I guess I was trying to cater to the hippies with everything glowing and it being 420 related and whatnot. And then there's another wood spirit. And again, all this is Jordy Johnson inspired. He did all this on his channel. He got these little molds right here, and they're your standard Bic lighter molds. He got them off Amazon or whatnot and started doing them and carving them, and they're pretty fun. That makes a mess because, like I said, that epoxy, it's kind of like cottonwood bark. There's a lot of dust, it goes everywhere. But I don't know why I'm using my light still. But you know, a bunch of different ones. And again, like I said, it's all Jordy Johnson inspired. So that's where I found my carving. It come from that right there. Then what really pushed me to Jordy's channel was I wanted to do wood spirits and the roach clips. And so yeah, there's one of the ones that I ain't finished that I still gotta finish up. But I have a handful of these floating around too. But, yeah. That's Grumpy's craziness. We still got 7 people watching. Awesome. Let's see. At my friend's shop, those would sell out quick. See, that's everybody tells me that. You know, everybody says, man, those would sell out like crazy. And everywhere I go, that's what I hear. But you know, it's when people go to spending that money. I mean, the bad thing about it with I guess with that, you know, more people's gonna want to spend their money on the actual product that they gotta use that for, and not too many stoners or whatnot want to go out there and spend the money on a pipe. Or you know, you got some people that collect pipes and stuff like that, and so yeah, they save up and do get that. But about 80% of them, they spend all their money on the on the stuff instead of utensils for it, I guess you say. I'm trying to be YouTube friendly. You know, I know you can talk about it to a degree, but I don't want to get striked out or nothing. I'm not monetized, but I do wish to get to that point one day. But yeah. But I always joke with my wife. I tell her I want to stockpile, just keep making my clips like I do, and then you go right. I saw that in some of the video I was watching. I was like, man, they're up inside, and I was looking. I said, ooh, it's smoky up in there. You can't do any of that down here. We don't have anything set up like that down here. If they ever go recreational, they might start trying to set up smoke lounges. But right now, especially in my little area, I'm kind of rural. I'm not rural, but I am rural. It was a small town, but it's boomed bad in the past 10 years. But we're just not set up for that. They don't do no smoking in bars or nothing like that no more, you know. But as far as a smoke lounge like that, we don't have them. I wish we did. It would be cool, you know, because I would be able to get into an establishment like that, I think. But that is what I am. That is my goal. Like I said, I can't do a whole lot. I got some cool. Let's see, Bear, you still in here? I want to show you that I do more than just that. I did a sneak peek the other night in one of my lives, but I do wood spirits and stuff, or I did do wood spirits and stuff. I don't do as much powder carving anymore because of my neck and my hands. When I have bad days with my neck, I ain't got shit for control with my hands, and so the rotary tools and stuff, they'll tend to run away from me quick. Yeah, this Spike, you might remember this piece if you're still hanging out, buddy. This is one of Jordy's challenge pieces. This was back from 2021. This was back when I first got into carbon fusion. Yeah, that's wood spirits kind of morphed together. And that's my favorite style of spirits when Jordy does. When he does his wood spirits and his little ghost skulls and all, and morphs all that together, those are just awesome. There's old guy I did out of pecan. Yeah, William, that would be awesome. Yeah, I wish Florida would get on with it. I wish they'd get on with it, you know, and get recreational for everybody. Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna knock alcohol, but I much rather see somebody stoned than drunk. You know, yeah, I mean, alcohol's fun, but you see a lot more fights when people's drunk than you do with a bunch of people stoned. You know what I mean? You know, so it's like that's just how I feel. And then I got issues deep down. I used to be a bad hothead. I used to get mad. I'm talking lose my temper, show my butt, get all crazy at the drop of a dime, and I did, half of that was the opioids and stuff I was on. It made me mean. And once I got away from that and went all herbal, I tried to bear. I joke and say I have a Ray Ray and a JoJo. Ray Ray's my old mean hothead. JoJo's the sensitive guy that wants to cry. So I try to keep Ray Ray in his cage so JoJo will stay happy. But yeah, I like I said, in with alcohol, you know, I don't want to get drunk and lose control on alcohol, because then I'm afraid Ray Ray might come out and get stupid. So yeah, I don't. Got to keep Ray Ray put up. This is my most favorite piece right here. It's got 3 different wood spirits on it, and they all kind of morph and twist and go all different directions, kind of blended in. This was the finer detail about before I started having a lot of issues. I've tried to replicate this little guy a few times, and I ain't been able to do it. That's one of my favorites. This was last year's Halloween challenge for Jordy. I managed to get that carved in pretty good. It don't have a lot of fine detail, so it didn't whoop me too bad. And that was out of a piece of cedar. I did basically relief carving on it, and then took my wood burner and burned around it. And then it's got glow glow stuff on it. There you go. Little pumpkin eyes will light up and glow. Let's see. Yeah. There you go. About it. All kind of stuff. I'm gonna get back into my power carving though. I am gonna get back into it because that's definitely what I want to do. Is I love the wood spirits and stuff like that. That's why I won't never get tired of Jordy's videos. He can do nothing but wood spirit videos every day. I'll watch every one of them. And it's like I learn something every time because I'll forget something or I'm like, oh yeah, I can do it like that. It's like I'm always picking up something in the video he does. But, yeah. Bunch of this, man. And see, that's what I do. Most of my stuff, small stuff, because it's easier for me to handle the small stuff. With my neck, a gallon of milk, if I try to pick up a gallon of milk and I got my hand extended out too far, that stuff hurts. I dang near drop it. So yeah, I just have to work with small stuff. If I can manhandle bigger stuff, I'd definitely be out there trying to chainsaw carve. Because I love that. I love the carving in general. Alright, y'all. I know I keep saying I'm going to get out of here, but I'm going to get out of here. I'm fixing to have to go feed my pups. They're on a daggum schedule. They'll start beating the door down come 6:30. But y'all have an awesome night. And thank you so much for hanging out with me, putting up with my crazy babble. I'll zoom down to my messy workstation here. Yep, it's a wreck in here. As in my little box, it's tight. And it's small, so I could contain all my dust, but it's almost too small because I can't hardly work in it. But, and all my cool stickers. I'm gonna say, we'll get that out of the way. I like all my stickers. The community's pretty cool. Alright, y'all. Y'all have an awesome night, and thank you so much for hanging out. And Spike, dude, that is just so awesome. I'm still smiling and grinning ear to ear for you, brother. That's just so cool. I'm so happy you finally got it. That's just awesome. I know you gotta wait a little bit, but yeah, dude, just think about it. It's gonna be worth it. I said, I can't wait to watch a video. Alright, y'all have a great night. God bless everybody. Y'all stay safe. Stay laid back. Don't be grumpy. That's my job. Good night, everybody.